Hey, man.
What's up?
Oh, not much. Have you ever heard of Mothman? Like the Mothman.
Mothman?
Yeah.
Like Mothman? Like I thought, I don't know what Mothman is. We've talked about the Mothia.
We have talked about the Mothman. We actually talked about the Mothman.
That's what I was saying.
The Mothman coming in.
Mothman.
They broke into my house.
That's what I was like. Is this a reference to something else?
Well, yeah, the Mothman. Mothman is a real thing.
No, I mean, it's not, but that's,
The Mothman is not a real thing.
The Mothman
But the
is a real
Mothman
thing.
is a real thing.
What is it, a guy who's just got a house of moths? My moth mansion.
Look at all these moths.
And he has to say it like that too. Moths, not moths.
Moths.
You can't go moths. You gotta be like moths.
My moths.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who's the Mothman?
Well, this was the statue that they put on Main Street.
Oh gosh! I should ask a less stupid person. You're right. This is my fault.
Well, the problem is he can't communicate, so he just kind of flies around. He's like, guys, look what's happening.
It looks like I hung a sign at the coffee shop that says Alien Truthers, and I'm just here to get your stories.
Things I learned last night. TILLN
Not that. It's not that.
Okay.
It's something.
It's not one of those people. Isn't it weird when people do that whole, like, they put a needle through a bug?
Oh, yeah. And then they
frame
stick
it?
it up on their wall. I kind of like it. I think it's
Why?
kind of cool.
What
I
is
want it in
that?
my office. I'm going to put it up above my desk over there, actually.
Which bug
I'll
are
do
you
a
going to
couple
put
of
on the
those.
wall over there?
I don't know. What bugs do you like the least? What's
I
your
don't know.
least favorite bug?
Probably one that I pay for and you put on your desk. That's probably the one that I would hate the most if I had to
I'll send you a list of bugs I need for TILLN stuff.
just take it out of the TILLN account.
Here's a list of bugs I need. Could
Yeah.
you buy them for me? Run down to the bug mart.
Bug mart?
Buy me some of these bugs.
Yeah, there's got to be like a guy who sells them online, you know?
Oh, I'm sure there is.
Yeah, or you just get the street dealer, the bug thug.
Bugsforsale.com. Oh, bug shippers. Anyway, this is so...
So it's not that. It's not like a guy who, like, you know, has moths on display.
No, it's
The
not.
Mothman
It's not.
is like a Slender Man kind of thing.
Yeah, actually.
Yeah.
It's a man who's a moth.
Yeah.
Which is a bit of a misnomer, but we'll get to that. Anyways, so the Mothman man, he is a cryptid.
Where was he born? Mothman was born
in West Mothia. He's a cryptid in West Virginian folklore. And
what did you just say?
he's a cryptid in West Virginian folklore.
Yeah, no. Go ahead. Folklore?
I didn't realize it until the second time I said it.
Wait, did you accidentally say it the second time?
I accidentally said it both times.
No, I know you accidentally did the first time. The second time I thought was like folklore?
Folklore. There's a lot of
All right.
story about these forks in West Virginia.
Yeah. Fork
Do you
your
know
yard,
that
bro.
unbridled is pronounced unbridled? Mm-hmm. Oh, man. That made me so mad.
What did you just say?
Did you know that unbridled is pronounced unbridled?
Yeah.
Oh, man. That made me so mad. I don't know why you need me to repeat that.
Why did you say that, though? It's almost like you went, did you know that garahi is pronounced garage? You're like, what? Yeah, no, I knew the second part.
It was in the Discord yesterday. Danley Man called me out, and he was like, you pronounce unbridled wrong. And I was like, I need you to bridle your tongue. And
It's unbridled.
yeah, I looked it up on YouTube, the pronunciation key, and she said unbridled. And I was like, that's the dumbest. Oh gosh, that makes me so, like, it's unbridled. Unbridled sounds so much better than unbridled.
Yeah, you say a lot of things
That sounds
wrong.
like you're getting a divorce. Unbridled, that's a divorce.
Unbridled?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. No, we were really in love, and then the last moment, she just decided to unbridle herself. What are you talking about, dude?
Anyway, so the Mothman in West Virginia.
I hate everything about you. Yeah.
Okay.
Did you know that wheel is actually pronounced wheel? This is crazy to me. My whole life is a lie. Brocoli? Broccoli. Who knew?
Okay.
So the Mothman.
So in the 1960s in West Virginia and
The
Point
Mod
Pleasant.
H Man.
Yeah. In Point Pleasant, West Virginia.
Okay.
The Mod H Man. I just heard that.
In West Virginia. I don't understand. What, I'm still stuck on this. Is the fact that you're just like, did you know that the word that's pronounced this way is actually pronounced this way? I just cannot believe you. So in something Point, West Virginia.
Yeah, Point Pleasant, West Virginia, in the mid '60s, this some call it mass hysteria kicked in around the Mothman, and it lasted until 1967. December. There's an actual
So like
date.
7 years.
December 15th, 1967.
Is the last sighting of Mothman.
It cut off, and there's a reason for that. We'll get to it.
They shot a guy. Killed a guy in the street, and they were like, we got
And a bunch of moths flew out of his chest.
No, he wasn't the Mothman. They just decided that this was the sacrifice to the Mothman.
Yeah, he's the scapegoat.
Yeah.
The scape moth. So on November 15, 1966, so it was a really short mass hysteria.
Okay,
This
so
is where
this
it
is a year.
begins. It was a year, yeah. There was two young couples, Roger and Linda Scarberry and Steve and Mary Millette, were driving in the backwoods outside of Point Pleasant. Point Pleasant's a small town, West Virginia, right on the Ohio border. About 4,000 people live there, right?
Cool.
So small town. They're driving through the backwoods through what they call the TNT area, because this area blows up all the time. Like you're just driving around and it just explodes.
Yeah. They were like, hey, guys, you want to be a fun double date? Let's test our fate.
Yeah, let's see if we blow up over there. No, it's called the TNT area because it is the location of the old West Virginia Ordnance Works. Ordnance Works? Did you know ordnance?
Did you know that ordinance is pronounced ordinance?
Did you know ordnance doesn't have an I in it? Like, I'm literally just now realizing this as well. Like, I feel like it...
Ordinance.
Ordinance. Yeah, there should be an I after that D.
Yeah, because if you say ordinance,
Yeah, how do you say
Ordnance.
it? Ordnance?
I think there is an I in it.
There should be, but there's not. I'm looking at the Wikipedia article right now.
Yeah, well, it's
Ordnance.
Wikipedia, dude. That's a fun game. Just go on Wikipedia and misspell some words. Ordinance.
Okay, anyways. And so it was...
Why is here's a fun tangent. All right, a tangent. I knew that would get you. Why is it pronounced boundary,
Yeah.
ordinary? Oh, I forgot where I was going. Hold on, wait.
Is it...
No.
Are you going to say boundary... Boundaries?
No, I'm saying
Boundaries?
maybe it's boundary is the one that's wrong. Okay, so wait. Ordinary.
Ordinance.
No, ordinary, but we say boundary
Boundary.
and not boundary.
Boundary.
That's what I messed up. Yeah.
Boundary.
Why is it pronounced like ordinary, or what are other words that end with that?
It's
can't-
because
literally
I know
brain's not
exactly
working
why.
right
I know
now.
exactly why. Because ordinary, if you're going to say ordinary, it's a
But
real
British
conversation.
people say ordinary.
But if you're going to say boundary, you're angry. You're like, you
stop.
infringed on my boundaries.
No, I'm asking
you're
a legitimate.
saying it
I
quickly.
should ask a less stupid person. You're right. This is my fault. This was my fault. I shouldn't bring complex things up when you're trying to talk about, West Virginian mythical creatures. All right, this is on me. This is my fault. All right. Sorry about this tangent.
Let's talk about this ordinance. So West Virginia Ordnance Works was a United States ammunition facility during World War II that actually definitely helped develop the nuclear bombs in World War
West
II.
Virginia?
Well, the atom bombs, yes. So they were
So they call it
working
the
on some of the
TNT area
components. Because they were like, yeah, there's a lot of like big booms over there. It was.
Yeah, I
it
assumed
was,
that bombs were going off over there. I also thought it was going to be the mines, but
Nope. Yeah, so they were just
okay.
they were manufacturing bombs for the war, and
In the 40s.
pieces for the atom bombs. And by the 60s, it was shut down. It wasn't active, but everyone still called it TNT area because it named stick,
legacy.
nickname stick. And so while they were driving through, they spotted overhead what they described as a 6-foot man-like figure with a 6.
Okay. You know that it's pronounced figure, right? I mean, I don't know how many more episodes we could do with you saying it this wrong.
How am I supposed to say it?
Figure.
Figure.
Yep.
Oh, that's gross. It's figure.
Okay. So I don't like how casual you were telling the story either. Where you're like, well, and then they spotted above them a 6-foot, like you were like, you get it. And are they saying that this, and they say it looks like a man.
Yeah, it's
Man-shaped.
man-like creature.
Floating, flying.
Flying. It has a 10-foot wingspan is what they assumed. They
Okay.
assumed it was a 10-foot wingspan, 6-foot size man with glowing red eyes, flying
I have heard of this.
above their car, and it spooked them. And so Steve was like, "Roger, drive faster," and so he did.
Roger, drive faster. It's spooky. So, they're driving through the West Virginia mountains. They see a 6-foot, man-looking thing flying 10 feet above them, and their response was, Roger, drive faster. So anyway, they're running through the canyon hills back. I don't like how casually you're telling stories and throwing in stupid details. So they're trying to get out of there fast.
They're trying to get out of there as fast as we can. Roger says he was driving 100 miles an hour down this backwoods road.
Which in the 60s,
That's fast.
what kind of car was
That's
going that fast?
It's Bob Lazar's rocket car. And the Mothman was keeping up with them, flying like along this back road with them in the TNT area. Eventually they escape narrowly. And they get to the police station at 2 a.m. The local police station at 2 a.m. Tell them what they saw. They file a police report. And the police weren't just like, oh, have you guys been drinking tonight? Like they filed a report and they sent
And the
a
police
squad
were
car out there to
"All
try to
right,
find
we'll
him.
check it out.
Yeah, we're going to find him. And then they had him sketch. I should have got this guy's sketch.
Of the Mothman?
Yeah. So they were like, can you sketch the Mothman for us? Which I'll pull it up real quick. This is...
It's gonna be like one of those local news reports where it's like it's just a stick figure with wings. And it's like, oh yeah, we got a lot to go off of here.
So they had Roger sketch it. Like, can you sketch it to the best of your recollection?
Okay.
Good. Can I do... should we give up? Like, I can't...
Would you drink a bang today?
Recollection? I don't know what's going on, man. Anyways, here's the Mothman as Roger.
Yeah, no, for sure. Yeah, I understand. So you're saying that he's got like voluptuous hips. Just real wide hips, huh? Yeah. No feet?
No feet. Well, he was flying so fast, I couldn't tell if he had any feet. And he just has this huge body. Like, it almost kind of looks like an elephant. Like, just a head of an elephant is what the picture looks like.
Yeah.
With 2 trunks.
And
No arms, no face, just these big dots where a head might be.
sure.
And then these weird wings.
Why did he color in the background?
He's like, he wants you to know it's night. And I love that he
yeah, I saw
signed it.
this.
I love that
Yeah.
he signed it.
Yeah. He's like, are you guys gonna frame this or put this in the?
He put the date down.
So at the
Point
top it
Pleasant.
says sketch of
Mothman.
Mothman made by witness. Roger
Roger, let me double check what his name is. Roger
Scarberry.
Scarberry, yeah. Yep, and he signed it. So yeah, this is his picture on a little it's got 3 hole punched on the side there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, interesting picture.
The police were like, we'll keep an eye on
They're
him.
like, yeah, we're gonna go find him. So they went out to the TNT
We're going to
area.
find him. But
Yeah.
I'm saying, like, we'll post this all around town
Yeah.
just in case anyone else sees this 6-foot Mothman. And then also has to be like, I don't know, is that the one from the sketch? Or
And so this hit the local news, and one of the editors called it the Mothman. That wasn't the original name of it. Everyone called it the large bird man at first.
the large bird man?
Yeah, the
as
large
opposed
bird man.
to
The normal sized bird
That's what
man.
I'm saying.
They have a regular bird man
Yeah.
that's already been
He's
in town.
not even a threat. Birds are small.
Nobody likes
Yeah.
birds. He's a bird-sized man.
All he's doing is chirping on the street corner and trying to get coins that you throw into his little bird hat, you know? He's just out there like, and you're like, here you go, bird man, you know? And then they're like, holy cow,
like,
there's a large bird man? You're telling me there's a large bird man out here? Did you know it's pronounced large? Doesn't even make sense. There's no J. So,
Gosh.
a larg?
Yeah, and so because Batman, the TV series, was super popular, he's like, we need to make it something like that.
This is a branding issue,
Yeah,
guys.
and
Let's say Mothman.
Yeah, so he branded it Mothman, and that stuck.
Yeah.
But a lot of the locals were like, this doesn't make any sense, because they described him as having feathered wings. Like they're like, his wings are feathery. They're not
The
mothy.
locals, the
They're
other
not
locals
dusty.
had seen him then.
Yeah, and so this actually like spread. Like it wasn't just the Scarberries and whatever the mallets.
But the Scarberries were the first one to
They were
make
the
a complete
first
report.
ones. Yeah.
Or to say that they saw it.
It was the first like
Sighting.
recorded sighting. Yeah.
Okay.
And then after that, a ton of people around town reported seeing the Mothman. And so people who knew what they were talking about were like, yeah, this is mass hysteria. This is someone might have, the Scarberries and the mallets might have saw something in the woods. But everybody else after that, like there's just like suggestion that it exists. But for about a year, all these reports were coming in where people are like, I'm seeing the Mothman. There's the Mothman out there. And they're freaking out.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, he's kind of scary. Like, he's a big man.
It's a large bird.
He's a large man flying around with his bright red eyes and no mouth or arms or
Yeah.
anything like that.
But there's no evidence outside of
It's
seeing
just the
things
sightings.
in the
Yeah.
sky.
Yeah, it's just the sightings.
And he's just in plain sight. Okay. Tuesday. That's right. That's when new episodes drop on Patreon. Patreon's a way to get early access to episodes and other content and exclusive merchandise. And we're not going to stop there because we got a private Discord with our hosts and producers in it for less than 17 cents a day. That's right. That's $5 a month. You too can be a Patreon supporter and not hear advertisements in this freaking podcast anymore. Text TILLN to 66866. Otherwise, I'll come to your house. I will find you. I will destroy everything that's good in your life until we're the only thing left. Anyway, here's another advertisement.
Well, the city was pretty enamored with the idea for the whole year until December 15th, 1967. And then everyone was just like, yeah, let's stop worrying about this Mothman thing. Because, and
Wait, they were just like, hey guys, it's over. What are you talking about?
they're like, guys, it's been a year.
Someone brought it up. They're like, hey, you guys seen the Mothman? Hey, we're done with that.
Yeah, we're not talking about Mothman
Yeah.
anymore.
December 15th?
December 15th,
They're
1967.
like, it's almost Christmas time.
We need a new
Shut it
toy
down.
to sell this holiday season. The Silver Bridge, which is the bridge that crossed the Ohio River connecting Point Pleasant, West Virginia with Gallipolis, Ohio, Jollypolis.
Okay.
It collapsed, and so this bridge, and it was really bad. 46 people died.
Oh my gosh. So it's like full of people?
Yeah. So this is a 2,000-foot bridge crossing the river, and so there's a bunch of people like driving across the river, and it just collapsed. The whole thing went down in the water.
Wow.
I think it was like 68 people went into the river, plunged into the river, and 45 of them died.
Wow.
So it was, obviously this giant tragedy, especially like locally, like it's right in town. So everybody that lived there was pretty heavily impacted. It's a small town too. But what kind of ended it was a bunch of locals reported that day they saw the Mothman flying around the bridge. And then after the bridge collapsed, nobody saw him anymore. So
the theory is that he lived under the bridge.
It was that the Mothman did it. Not that the Mothman did it, but here's. I think there's two sides of why it quit. One, I think everyone was like, "This is a tragedy," and like, "This is a bigger deal than some Mothman flying around town." Like they're just like, "We're not concerned about that much."
We have real things to worry about now.
Yeah. But I think what a lot of other people kind of believed was that he was almost like a symbol, or like trying to warn people of the disaster that was coming. And so this Mothman was flying around trying to be like a warning.
So he becomes a hero?
Yeah, he's like a prophet. He's prophesying the disaster.
For a full year, he's like, he can't say anything.
Yeah, he's just flying by the bridge.
He's just hoping, and in his mind, he's like, just know the bridge is going to fall. You know?
It's like, if I just chase people away from the bridge, maybe they'll stop using it.
I don't understand. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, so that's one side of it. A lot of other people, though,
he did it.
They think he's like this evil force that like perpetuated it. Because what happened with the bridge is there was so they didn't build it like most modern bridges. They have like a lot of layers of redundancy, where if like parts of it break, it's still going to be fine, right? This was an older bridge where they didn't think of that yet.
Right. Well, the reason they think of that now is because of things like that.
Yeah, yeah. And so one of the bolts had cracked in it, and it was like I don't know how long the bolt was, a couple meters. I don't know what a meter is. It was big. Cracked, and then it collapsed, obviously. And so what some people say is that he tampered with that bolt. I don't know.
Okay, so just to be clear, this thing is a large Birdman. And with its not hands, it goes and tampers with a bridge.
Well, I mean, here's the deal. That picture has him not having hands, but a lot of people think he has hands. Here's a depiction. Well, this is a good time. Here's a depiction of what.
Was there any other sightings outside of Point Pleasant?
No, it's just Point Pleasant. Point Pleasant is Mothman, where Mothman showed up. And this is what a lot of people describe him as looking like.
Worse.
Yeah, so it's honestly like if you imagine what
I like
you would
the top,
think.
but there's a person for reference.
Yeah, and he's pretty happy to be here.
He's like,
he's waving.
Hello.
Hello. Oh.
Well, you know what that is that this is one of those mascots at Disney, and that's the person that has to walk with it to make sure kids aren't pulling on the costume and stuff.
Yeah, the best way to think of it is like Sasquatch with wings and like a red eye mask. It's Sasquatch with wings, and the picture was taken on like a 2002 digital camera, so his eyes came up red.
Yeah.
That's the way I would describe it. So a lot of people describe him as having arms. It was just that first guy.
Okay.
It was like, yeah, he's
just drew him like that. Which you can see the.
He drove home and he's like, Nancy, I forgot to draw the arms on Mothman.
But why would he draw it like this if he's in the sky? Is that how he's flying? It's just.
Yeah, just like a torpedo. Yeah,
is
I don't know.
Naruto flying? His arms back, wings straight back, and just, you know?
Yeah, maybe. I mean, that's how maybe. I don't know.
So they decided that he had something to do with the bridge thing.
Yeah. Everyone had their opinion.
But everyone's opinion involved him being involved.
Yeah, pretty much.
Or her. We don't know.
Yeah, that's true. We're assuming.
Yeah, that was on us.
Yeah, that's RB. Yeah, so the bridge collapsed, and everybody in Point Pleasant was like, "Yeah, it's we're over it. Mothman probably did it, or was probably warning us. Who knows?" And then it just kind of disappeared for about 5 years until a guy by the name of Gray Barker, which is a fake name. That's his real name. It just sounds fake, doesn't it?
Gray Barker?
He's a ufologist and paranormal phenomena enthusiast.
Phenomena Phenomena.
He wrote a book
Called Mothman?
called The Truth About the Mothman.
Man.
No, he wrote... Oh, no, he just introduced it to a wider audience. He didn't write a book about him. He introduced the Mothman to a wider audience, talked about it on his podcast.
Shut up. Okay. Be serious.
He
Please.
just
The
talked
YouTube
about it.
comments on this one are going to be stupid. Just tell the story.
Well, he just talked about it in like the press or whatever they do for ufologists. You know, like he talked about the Mothman, and everyone's like, "What's this Mothman?"
Hey, newspapers, I've got a story for you. You guys ever heard of the Mothman?
Yeah, that's pretty close to probably happened. And so 5 years later,
He's going around different newspapers. This is what I'm asking. Like, there's no
he put out a press release.
Okay.
All Wikipedia says is he brought it to a wider audience.
Okay.
And then John Keel, 5 years later, he puts out a book, and the book's called The Mothman Prophecies.
Okay.
And so his theory is that the Mothman is a prophesier, a prophet, if you will. He's a prophet, and he shows up wherever a disaster happens. He's present to warn everyone of the disaster.
Oh, really?
The problem is he can't communicate.
Just a lot of other disasters that he wasn't there for.
Well, the problem is he can't communicate, so he just kind of flies around.
He's
like, guys, look what's happening.
That's what okay, yeah. Because, I mean, what other evidence is there, though? Was he had other disasters?
Well, I don't know what he references in his book, but since then, believers in the Mothman prophet idea, the John Keelian view, if you will, say that he was at the Chernobyl meltdown. Some people said that they sighted him there, which I don't know if there was some people from
he's
Pleasant Point
international.
or Point Pleasant. Yeah. Some other believers said that they saw him.
But in order to believe in this theory, then, right? Let's just play it out.
Yeah.
For a full year, he's warning this small town in West Virginia about a bridge.
Yeah.
And then he's like, yeah, there's a nuclear meltdown about to happen. And just trekking his way over.
Well, he doesn't fly. He doesn't move his arms like that when he flies. Just over the Atlantic Ocean. And then
To Chernobyl?
yeah, and he was apparently there at the Chernobyl
They go to
meltdown.
Russia.
And then he also was apparently at 9/11, was flying
knew
around
this was
there.
part of
So, I don't know about all that, but
You don't know about, you're going to leave that as a possibility? You're like, I don't know about all that. It's possible. It's not, but okay. I don't know about all that. What are you talking about?
so the idea is that he prophesies disasters. And
Sure.
He shows up, hangs out for a little bit, tries to warn everyone, and then it happens, and he just kind of, I don't know.
He's like, all right,
flies around.
well,
It's like, I tried. And then leaves and goes to the next one. I don't know. So whether some people say he's
What if it's the other side? What if just bad luck follows him everywhere?
yeah,
Like he goes somewhere, he's like, I kind of like living here.
like,
This
here's
is
a
great. And then the
fresh
bridge
start.
collapses. He's like,
gotta move again.
I hear Russia's nice. You know? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it could be. He's just very misunderstood.
By the universe.
But yeah, so some people call him like the harbinger of death because, like, you know, like, some people call him.
I hate how casual you dropped that nickname. Like, you know, a lot of people call him Mothman. Some people are like a large bird guy. Other people call him Charcoal Gary. And then also some people call him the harbinger of death. Oh. Okay.
Yeah, there's that. Anyways, so there's a lot of theories about what Mothman actually is. Here's what we know.
Okay.
He's described as being the description ranges between 6 feet tall and about 6 feet tall. The wingspan is where the range is. I got that backwards. The range for this wingspan is between 6 feet and 10 feet. So some people think it's much larger. And there's a few theories. There was a local who was convinced
Yeah.
that it was a Let me double check and make sure I get this species correct.
If he's 6 feet tall, then a 6 foot wide, like a wingspan, is not
It doesn't make sense.
huge.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you know how long? Did you know that all the dashes in the middle of the highway are a minimum of 6 feet long? Mm-hmm. Do you know that?
Yeah, it's because your eyes can't process fast. It's because your eyes aren't prophetic.
Prophesiers?
No,
like they're like all the yellow and white dashes are. So that's what I'm saying is that
it's not that big.
Right. Because when you're driving, those look really small.
Yeah.
And then if you add distance up, you know, it just looks like a normal. How wide is a bald eagle's wingspan?
Well, let's look it up. I think it's probably about 6 feet. Yeah.
That's what I'm thinking. I'm like, that's got to be a good.
Is there a bagel place that sells bald eagle bagels?
I don't know what you just said.
That seems like
Because you said you
bagels.
pronounced bagel wrong twice in that sentence. You said biggles and bagels.
bagel. That's how you pronounce it.
Bagel.
Bagel.
Yeah.
I'm saying the same thing.
Yeah, I know, but you were walking through all the vowels. You were like bagel and biggle.
Bugle. Okay, so
I love bugles.
a bald eagle is between 5 and 7 feet
Right.
wingspan. So
That's what I was
it's pretty
like.
standard wingspan for a
Yeah,
large
but how
bird.
wide are their bodies?
Oh, very thin,
Yeah.
like a foot or so.
You just guessing?
Yeah, I'm just ballparking it.
Very thin. Very thin. That's what I'm
4
saying.
inches.
Is that a 6 foot wingspan is the size of a bald eagle? That's not huge.
It's not gigantic for a large bird. So it's believable that this is a large bird. And that's why a Robert L. Smith, a biologist at West Virginia University, was convinced that it was a sandhill crane, which does have a wingspan of about 6 feet.
And red eyes.
Actually, so the sandhill crane, what they have is they have this like red spot around their eyes. And they're about 4 feet tall, and they are known to fly as far inland as West Virginia. So this biologist was convinced that this was what they saw.
To pull up the other picture of
The similarities are
that
uncanny.
goes back to the bird. Yeah. Now one more time. Yeah. I mean, once you see it, you can't unsee it. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, it looks exactly the same. It looks exactly the same. And so he literally went around like reporting, like
he was
he's
like, "Hey guys,
it's a sandhill crane.
It's a sandhill crane." And they were like, "Who are you?" You know? And he was like, "I'm just a biologist." And they were like, but at nighttime,
Yeah. You're about 6 feet tall.
he turns into. Yeah. Does it caw?
Well, I mean, I guess it's a moth. What sound do moths make? Are
don't know.
moths made of dust? Like, when's the last time you killed a moth?
Just ask. What did you just say?
Why are moths so dusty?
I mean, I guess if you really think about it, aren't we all made of dust? But
The powder is actually tiny scales made from modified hairs.
because they're powdery?
Yeah. I mean, you know, like when you crush a moth, they literally turn to dust.
I don't crush them, though.
Okay.
I trap them in a little thing with a paper, and I let them loose in my neighbor's house.
Okay.
I was like, you just didn't react to that?
That's pretty fun.
You were just like, oh, okay.
It's actually, this is interesting. This says that it's actually like a protective camouflage in air quotes.
Because of scent and everything?
Well, no, because it like cheats predators. So if a predator tries to eat it, it just turns to dust. And the predator's like, I don't want to eat that. Like, I'm not going to eat something. Like, imagine going to Chipotle and biting in your burrito, and it just turns to dust when you bite it.
But it doesn't protect you. It just protects other moths?
Well, yeah. I mean, it's like if
something
that
eats
lizard
you
has
and is
eaten a moth
that
before,
thing tasted terrible.
it's like, yeah, that's not even a thing. Like,
and
it's
then
just
it won't eat
basically
me,
dusty
but
air.
it doesn't help you.
Yeah, they're communal species.
All right. So
They're
anyway,
out to protect the whole.
So we're convinced that this is.
Well,
do you buy
I wouldn't
this
say
theory?
we're convinced. I'd say Robert L. Smith is convinced.
What do
that
you
it's this.
believe?
Love TILLN Podcast and want to support the show? Well, you can support us by buying TILLN Podcast merch and wearing it out in the wild. We have tees, hoodies, shirts, and so much more in our merch store. We also have exclusive merch for every single episode, but those are limited, so make sure you get them while you can. Text TILLN to 66866 to support the show. Thank you so much. Here's what I believe, and this is another prevailing theory that a lot of people have. And here's, owls. It's always owls. It's always owls.
I don't know why we didn't think of this.
And look at the picture. Like, that's a picture of an owl.
It's an owl.
It was just a large owl.
Yeah.
And here's the thing about owls. When you shine a light in an owl's eyes, they turn red. They turn that bright red.
They all do?
Yeah, and there's actually a species.
Just Google image owls with red eyes. And then just put the whole search window up there.
Okay, hold on.
I want to see as many pictures as possible of owls with red eyes. Oh my gosh. Well, that's spooky, dude. Look at that first one.
Yeah, that's rough. So there's a thing with the pigment.
Is that because it's huge, man. How do you pronounce that?
The Stygian.
Are those in West Virginia?
I don't know.
Yeah, dude.
These horn
Even
owls,
just a barred owl, it's
these
an
horn
owl
owls,
for sure.
The horn owls can get a 6-foot wingspan, and they can be up to, I think it's 3 foot in length. And so if you see this thing flying at you in the TNT area, you've been out with your friends driving in your 57 Chevrolet, a little tipsy, like.
But how did
that
thing take out the bridge?
It just pecked at the thing until it cracked it.
Owls are terrifying.
Yeah, they are. Look at that one.
That one's cute.
White one with the bright red eyes.
I'm saying like the top one, like that. Look, that is gonna be in my nightmares tonight.
Yeah, owls are scary, man.
That's spooky, man.
So owls are aliens. Owls are the Mothman. Look at that.
That's it.
That's what he saw. That's 100%.
That's it.
Yeah. So I think it's most likely owls. But I will say it's probably a prophetic owl. It can see the future.
Well, then get it out of here.
Yeah. But that's what that is. That's an owl. That's 100% an owl.
Yeah.
So a lot of people are like, yeah, duh, it's an owl. Well, it kind of vanished from Point Pleasant.
What are Mothman
lore.
Truthers called?
The Mothia.
Okay.
But it kind of disappeared from Point Pleasant culture, and then even from from popular culture in general a little while after John Keel's book in the 70s, until 2002, when a film was released that was inspired by John Keel's book, starring Richard Gere.
You say starring John Travolta.
And I think it was by the same name. I think it was the Mothman Prophecies. Yeah, Mothman Prophecies, which, let me see what I got on Rotten Tomatoes.
So in 2002, it kind of. But I'm wondering, does this town do a? Are they not branding on it? But you know what I'm saying? They have souvenirs and stuff.
We can get to that.
I went to Point Pleasant, West Virginia, to see the Mothman, and all I got was this shirt. You know?
It got a 52% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Hey, it's better than other films.
Yeah. So
it was actually what I got.
It was actually.
I would love for Rotten Tomatoes to review one of my things, but they won't.
Out
of principle, it's been canceled by Rotten Tomatoes.
So the story.
For my Christian beliefs, I'm being persecuted by Rotten Tomatoes.
So the story is Richard Gere plays John Klein.
Oh.
Who is a reporter who is researching the Mothman after his wife's mysterious death, and it was decently popular in 2002. So much so that the town of Point Pleasant was like, let's get some tourism cash.
Yeah,
And
that's what I was
so
wondering. Yeah.
Everybody there.
They were like, well, once a month we just pay someone to go out in this giant Mothman costume
And chase kids around.
and just.
Chase
But he
kids into
doesn't
those
fly
tunnels.
though. Imagine that you're just like outside.
This is this guy.
Imagine you're outside the bar smoking. Well, I guess in the 2000s you could just be inside the bar smoking. But imagine you're outside.
The bar kicks open and there's a guy.
And there's just a guy.
just
Walks up to the bar.
waddles in.
Like they're just like, yeah, he lives here. Yep. Well, I found him in my house, but then I caught him and I let him loose in my neighbor's house. So now he just lives there.
I crushed him. He turned to dust and came back
I know
bigger.
he's super. We have to follow him with a broom everywhere. He's so dusty. We call him Dusty. That's hard. Oh yeah, old Dusty. Yeah, he's around here somewhere.
You know him, musty, dusty Mothman.
So, what tourism stuff did they do?
Yeah, I watched an interview. With one of the like county clerks there.
Because how far off like a main highway are they?
I don't know. Let me look it up.
Like a highway that people are traveling on.
I watched an interview with like a county clerk, and he said before 2002, he said if you came to town and you wanted someone to talk to someone who didn't believe in the Mothman, he would say, "Yeah, talk to literally anybody in town."
Cool.
Nobody believes in him. And then he said 2002, the movie came out, and if you want to talk to someone who doesn't believe in the Mothman, like you can't talk to anybody here. We all believe in him now.
But like they all believe in it, and it's like it's real. I made that joke when I did a college in Beaver Dam, Wisconsin, and it was a technical college, so it was all like, plumbers, electricians, all that kind of stuff. They all looked the same. They were all wearing ball caps, jeans, and then whatever that tan work jacket is, right? Because they're all like doing classes that day. And I thought it was funny. They didn't laugh at it, but because I am dressed like I live in a city, right?
Yeah.
And I said, it looks like I hung a sign at the coffee shop that says alien truthers, and I'm just here to get your stories. And they didn't laugh at that. And I still think it was pretty funny.
That is
I was like,
pretty
it looks
funny.
like
I
we're on
that a
Finding Bigfoot right now.
That's
And they
really
didn't
funny.
laugh. They laughed at other stuff. We got them, but
We got him. We ended up getting him.
we were friends. Yeah. They were cool.
So the town it's right off Highway 35,
Okay.
but that's not an interstate highway. So
Right.
the next,
But I'm thinking like travel and
so probably a lot of people driving down that. The next biggest highway is Interstate 64, which is about an hour outside of.
so that's what I'm saying.
So
You go out of your way to
yeah,
to be where Mothman was.
yeah, come to Mothland. So
Do they have owls there?
they do. They
do
a
have
lot of
owls there?
They have a lot of owls.
So they have a lot of owls, and not one time was anyone like, you know what?
You know what? This is
So what are
probably
they?
an
So
owl.
what they're trying to get people off the highway then to come to their small town.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, like just because the people, like, what do you want? Like, it's not a tourism experience to go to a town where everyone believes in something dumb. You know, that's not a tourism experience.
So here's what
Hey, come off the highway. We're dumb. You know, what do you?
So they started that year, 2002. They started the Mothman Festival, and so basically they do all this, like they do a parade. They have like you can buy a bunch of moths and stuff. I don't know, like there's a bunch of Mothman like themed things all that week, and they actually said that during the Mothman Festival, they assume that Main Street, which is where the festival takes place, and they're like historic
Will
downtown and
collapse.
stuff. What?
Will collapse. They've built a fake Main Street that at the end of the festival just.
Oh, that's horrible. They estimate that during Mothman Festival every year, Main Street brings in about $2 million.
Whoa.
Which they said is way more than it'll bring in the rest of the year.
Yeah.
And so a lot of people come from out of town for this.
And it's still
this
going.
event. Yeah, it still goes to this year. I mean, I guess it hasn't happened for the last couple of years, but
When does it happen?
I'm not sure. Hold on.
I don't know why you said it like that. I'm not sure. If only you had a device in front of you to Google simple questions.
September 17th and 18th.
Hey,
wanna
what
go?
are you doing?
I don't have plans that far
I'm in
ahead.
Texas. That's a Saturday, Sunday. I'm in
Is it?
Texas the 16th. I could fly over. Meet me. Hey, why don't
Interesting.
you meet me in Point Pleasant?
So yeah, they have like a bunch of live bands, like food.
We'll get an Air TNT.
I forgot all about the TNT thing. Oh, this is a fun thread.
What was that? I forgot all about the TNT thing. Oh, what are you? What is wrong with you today?
I don't know, man.
What's
but
the
here's
TNT thing?
So before everyone was like, it's probably an owl.
They thought it was like a reaction to the
Yeah, they thought it was a
atomic bomb
mutant.
stuff.
They thought it was a mutant.
Yeah, for sure.
And-
That's what I thought whenever you said that.
And here's the thing.
A mutant.
They have like, there is an area in the Ohio River which had like this red mucus in it from, they were just dumping their nuclear waste in the Ohio River.
Oh,
because they didn't realize at that time that you probably shouldn't do that yet.
Yeah.
That was
Yet?
before. That was before.
Probably shouldn't do that yet.
Yeah. Mothman was like, wait until the bridge happens.
Gotta wait a few years to dump your nuclear waste out there.
And so there was
It's
like,
kind of like whenever you get leftovers, you're like, I'm not gonna throw these away right now. I'm gonna put them in the fridge.
I'm gonna
I'm gonna
wait.
throw them away in 3 days.
I'm gonna open them up. I'm gonna sniff them, and I'm gonna say, "Ooh,"
Oh,
throw them out.
those are bad.
Yeah. So same story. So
Reagan has so many leftovers in my fridge. I make her eat them sometimes. There's Olive Garden leftovers. We haven't been at Olive Garden in months.
she sits
Texas
down at the
Roadhouse
table,
rolls.
and I bring her 5 to-go
And I
boxes.
go, what would you like for dinner tonight? She goes, when is all this? I said,
Eat it all.
This is
I'm not heating it up.
this is
Eat
when we
it
went to
now.
Red Lobster 3 years ago. That's in my fridge. Eat that. Eat that. She opens it and it's like it's all plasticed over, like the plastic grew over
Yep. Oh, gross.
Yeah.
I hate this. There was a lot of theories that it was
it was
one of
a
these
mutant,
owls,
for
but it
sure.
mutated and got larger, or the sandhill crane and mutated got larger, or a local boy.
A local boy swimming in the river, mutated, got larger.
Mom, Jane
No,
was
sorry,
swimming down in the
you
river.
belong to the TNT zone now. And they just dropped him off on the side of the highway in a box. And they're like, "You belongs to the woods of West Virginia." A local boy.
Yeah, his moth powers made him see the future.
He's at breakfast and he's like, "Mom, don't drive the bridge to work today."
Put your wings down, son.
He's got his full 12-foot
like extended
wingspan at
at
breakfast,
the breakfast
just
nook.
knocking stuff off the walls. And he's like, "Well, I just want some more bacon." She's like, I'll get it. You stay sat down. I'll get it." Can he not put the wings down? Just always at
His mom is like opening the feathers
If
to like
he runs
squeeze
too
through. his
fast, like
wings.
he's running too fast, it accidentally takes off a little bit.
playing Little League football, and his coach is like, "You gotta tie those down when we play. You're gonna fly away. It's a penalty every time." They have a new rule in Little League: no flying.
What?
False human.
Defense number. The custom fit a jersey.
Number
you know?
moth.
Number. You guys know the
Number
one.
dust.
Number dust. This is.
So
So they thought it was a mutant, possibly.
yeah, maybe.
Anyway.
Which could be. But the festival got really big, and so a couple years later, they commissioned a statue to be built of the Mothman in town center.
Oh no!
And,
which sketch did they go with?
Oh, the main one.
The main one.
Well, they built this statue, and I watched an interview with this
What's
county
the
clerk
statue?
talking
You
about
got
it.
a
and
picture of it?
Yeah, the county clerk was like, "Yeah, we hated the statue. We thought it was so dumb." And the mayor, of course, had to dedicate it. And so he wrote this speech that he was just like, whatever. And so
He was like, "Thank you for coming to the festival. In other news, we have a few announcements.
There's that.
It's over here. Please throw your trash away. And
yeah, we'll see you guys tomorrow, I guess.
See you guys. And now unveiling
Dusty.
It's made out of iron, and it rained yesterday. Rusty Dusty.
Well, he said that before the speech, they were in the courthouse.
He was
or
like, we
whatever.
don't have to do this.
Well, the county clerk walked outside, and there was like tons of local area news people, like not even just like local, but like from Charleston and from Huntsville, and like they drove in to see the dedication. And he came back in. He's like, "Hey, I think you need to work on your speech a little longer." And so he's like, they made kind of an event out of it, like, and made the speech better last minute because
he's like, he was gonna go out and do the whole thing. He's like, all right, and it's like, all right. He's in the room just doing like the. And then just goes out and turns it on. He's a showman.
Yep.
You know?
Yep.
Goes out. He's like, "Welcome to Point Pleasant, West Virginia. The year was 1966. My father, Robert Scarberry, and his best friend, Stephen, driving down a dark, bendy road. And alas, in the sky, a local boy." Right? You know, like he's doing a whole...
Yeah, pretty accurate. Well, this was the statue that they put
Just
on Main Street.
Oh, gosh!
It's terrifying. It is this 10-foot
Ripped 8-pack.
just yoked man with like this really odd chest hair pattern and like gigantic, like 3 gigantic
with the
clawed
mouth?
fingers. And he's got like a little bird mouth.
This looks like he would be the villain in a 90s movie.
Yeah, he does. In a 90s Batman.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's got a bunch of holes in his wings.
Or he looks like he's about to be like, "It's turbo time." You know? Or whatever the jingle all the way.
Yeah. He actually does, actually.
It looks like it looks like the bad guy in that.
So yeah, that's terrifying.
What do they name him? Terry?
Terry the Terrifying Mothman. Yeah, and he's got the
And he's just on Main Street.
yeah, just in the center, like in the median. Like welcome to Point Pleasant.
So imagine you
Isn't
get
this
lost.
pleasant?
Right? You're just driving on I-64, whatever it's over there, right? You take a wrong turn. You're like, this is weird. Like, where are we?
Where?
It seems like you're like Point Pleasant. I'm like, oh, okay. Turn the corner. You're like, well, okay, let's find the town center. From there, maybe a business will be open.
Yeah.
You know?
Find our
And
way
you
out.
turn the corner. This thing that's legitimately terrifying. That's scary.
So and then
Doesn't look anything like an owl.
yeah, it's also kind of got dreadlocks, which is an interesting touch.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Why did they do
I
that?
just noticed that. I don't know. Probably because like I think they did this around the time of the Alien movies.
Yeah, it does
those
look. It
things had
looks very. Yeah.
But
Is that what it looked like in the Mothman movie?
I don't know actually.
Get
And
this
so they
out of here.
opened
It's
they opened
terrifying.
up a Mothman museum
Good.
in downtown too for the festival. Really, here's the statue. So this is the statue you just get to see. You just get to
Yeah.
happen upon in public for free. Here's the statue that you have to pay for.
For those that are listening, it looks like you would go to those Halloween spirit stores, right?
Yeah.
That pop up, and it's like this. The face on this looks like a costume mask. Like it looks rubbery. It looks.
Yeah, it definitely looks like rubber. There's bulgy eyes, and then the teeth.
It's a costume. So
Yeah.
it's meant to be worn.
Yeah, it does not look
Designed and built by something.
Roger
something.
Scarberry.
Something students. Got some weird fur around the waistline.
I love it. It's so bad. It reminds me of
But it's also next to one of those stuffed animal vending
claw
machine
game.
things. Yeah, the claw game thing. It's like literally right next to it.
yeah, it's like and it's chained up. Like they chained it to these little pylons.
Yeah, but Jackson Mahomes was still doing TikTok dance next to it, you know?
Here, this reminds me so much of the alien from People of Earth.
What? Why did you put this in here? Why did you put this in here? What is this?
It looks just like him.
It does not.
It looks just like him. Anyways, so they've capitalized off of it. They make a lot of money off of the Mothman every year.
How long do you think it's going to last?
I don't know. As long as the Mothman's prophesizing disasters. I mean, I guess he's still doing
But at a
it.
certain point, you got to start making disasters happen. You know? At a certain point, you got to be like, well.
Yeah, so he's a scary guy, I guess. I mean, depending on which depiction of him you're using. But yeah, so the bridge collapsed. Oh, he was also at the swine flu outbreak in Mexico. When that hit Mexico, he was there.
He actually originated coronavirus.
And the most recent was in 2017. Apparently, like 20 sightings came from Chicago. They saw him.
Which, the very next day, the Dave Matthews River incident happened. And he was like, nobody be on the boat. But he can't say it, you know? They're like, and the next day, man.
Yep.
So bust dusted.
So that's the Mothman.
They got moth dusted and bust dusted, you know? Wow. That's the Mothman?
That's the Mothman.
Jeez.
Here's the craziest part of the legend. They say that if you drive down into the TNT area at night and you bring pieces of the old bridge, then
where are you going with this? I don't know if I like this one.
you bring pieces of the old bridge and you hit them together.
Strike them together.
Like rhythmically. If you hit them rhythmically.
You'll hear a Fiddle Off. Did you know that's pronounced fiddle? Things I Learned Last Night is a production of Space Tim Media. Produced by Christian Taylor, audio is edited by Alex Garnett, video by Connor Betts, social media is run by Caleb Walker, and graphic design by Caleb Goldberg. Our hosts are Jaron Myers and Tim Stone. Please follow us on social media at TILLN Podcast. That's TILLN Podcast. Leave a review, comment, subscribe wherever you are. Thank you for listening to Things I Learned Last Night.